All right, folks. There is a group of stocks I believe is gonna experience significant gains if things remain as they are when it comes to the whole market recovering, both from stocks and crypto. Now, these stocks, warning, are part of the crypto space. All right, but this is a way for you to kind of be exposed and have that exposure to the crypto space without having to need or require to invest a lot of capital, like a lot of money. All right. So let's look first at what is happening. So we've said this many times in the last 3 months. Crypto has been trading as if it was stock, meaning whenever the stocks will be down, crypto will also be down and even further down, given the high volatility we're experiencing and seeing in the crypto space. But now that the stock market is also kind of recovering, based on recession fears being now not as bad as we thought, or companies, disclosing earnings not as bad as we thought, people are feeling a lot more comfortable putting money back into the market. So that also is true for the crypto space, and I do believe the worst is kind of behind us when it comes to the crypto space, because a lot of the sell-off had to do with what is happening in the stock market, but also happening with kind of this trust crisis around some of the hedge funds, that closed doors, or file bankruptcy, or, crypto exchanges that file bankruptcy because they didn't have any, they were crushed by liquidity crisis amid huge fall, prices falling hard, like significantly hard. If you look at the last 6 months, Ethereum is down almost 40%. Year to date, it is down 60%. And they were using lending mechanisms. They were borrowing a lot of money for some of them, not all of them, some of them that, so it kind of exaggerated a little bit, the sell-off that we saw in stocks. But as now that is behind us and the market is recovering, I do believe that we have a lot of upside, if you will. We have a lot of upside when it comes to all of these major crypto, and you don't need to have a lot of money to invest in crypto, and you don't need to invest in everything as far as maybe the altcoins, so the Shibas, the Dogecoins, and everything, because there are so many coins out there. But there is a way using stocks and not a lot of money, especially now that they are on huge bargain, to do some money, at least in the next short term. Because one of the main catalysts, besides the market recovering and confidence going back into the market and these investments as a whole, we have what we call the merge. The merge coming from Ethereum. It's going to be around September. It's going to be actually a technological improvement for the whole entire networking system to make things, go be a lot more efficient. Put it in the simplest way possible, because the more efficiency we have, the more confidence we have, and the more profitability, I should say, we have in terms of the applications on these networks, especially with everything being derived on Ethereum. Now, personally, the way I'm playing this whole thing is by using what we call trust. So the trust are something that gives you the exact same exposure on Ethereum. So instead of spending 1,500 and buying one coin of Ethereum, as you can see here, you can just spend $11.72 as of today and get a share of this Grayscale Ethereum trust. If you look at the last 5 days, it gained 30%, but Ethereum on the exact same 5 days only gained 16%. So it's kind of double the gains that I had on Ethereum by just owning this this trust. All right. So in the last month, it gained 63%. If you look at Ethereum on the same period, it gained only 40%. So you are kind of leveraged on the good part of it, now that things are looking good on the green side. All right. So that's why I think it's a really, really interesting ways of playing the crypto without having to spend a lot of money. So I'm doing the exact same thing with Bitcoin through OBTC. You can also do the same thing with GBTC, but OBTC, it's Osprey Bitcoin Trust. It works the exact same way, but shares are a lot more affordable. Because if you look at GBTC, you will see that GBTC is twice or 2.5 times more expensive than OBTC. So from a kind of swing trading standpoint, if you look the last 5 days, down a little bit, but for the last month, up 6% only. And Bitcoin hasn't been doing as good as Ethereum lately, but I do believe, its time is going to come. So instead of putting 23,000 and spending it on Bitcoin, you can have, that money put into either GBTC or OBTC. So as far as the crypto, these are those I'm playing right now in order to capitalize gains from this upside that is coming. And besides, I also have these stocks, the miners. These are the people, the companies that are actually producing these coins. So we have Marathon Digital. This is one of my favorites because they have a strong management and a strong balance sheet, meaning it's a solid company. So if you look at the last 5 days, up 65%. Last month, almost doubling 100%. And look, if you look year to date, it is still down 60%. And this is not even going back to the highs it's seen, this entire last 12 months, because the highs were around $80 a share. So if we only go back to the highs of these last 6 months, we're talking about what? We're talking about a 57% upside when Bitcoin and Ethereum were still maybe around 30,000. So how close are we to 30,000 when it comes to Bitcoin, or maybe to 2,000 or 2,000 for Ethereum? A lot. Because these stocks are really, 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 really oversold because of the short selling pressure. So as the crypto market appreciates and get greener and greener and greener, the shorts will have to cover because they're getting squeezed. And that's why you can have a significant amount of gains on stock like Riot, because for the last 5 days you can see 40% up last month, 65% up, and this is very, very below the highs that we saw, on May 4th. So lots of things to do here. You can also check Bitfarm. You can also check Kinahan, which is actually the provider of the Bitcoin machine, the computers that the miners are using to actually produce these coins. There are so many out there. You have Galaxy Digital, but just pick those that you feel comfortable with. But for me, these three, or Argo blockchain, are definitely the one that I'm following. I'm in, actually. I've been in since the major sell-off a couple of weeks ago, and so far, it's doing pretty good. So I'm sharing because I think it's something that you need to look at, especially when it comes to putting the money to work. Maybe next month, maybe next 2 months, and then taking profits. But if you want to invest, that's maybe another story. But definitely, these are part of my investment portfolio for the long term, because I'm one of those believers that crypto is the future. Yeah.